Well, good day, Norman.
Hello, good day, Orlando. How's life?
Fantastic, fantastic again. It's been a quite interesting last few days. Um, I felt a lot of turmoil. I don't know about you. How was
Mhm.
how was your life?
Interesting, like quite calm, but interesting that I see wherever I look around me, there's total chaos.
Mhm.
It's very interesting. It doesn't matter who I talk to, it's total chaos in their life. So that's what I recognize, not in my life, luckily and happily, but yeah, interesting energy in the world.
Did you see like the Schumann resonance stuff,
Yes.
where like the Earth frequency is actually spiking like really high, like sometimes to 100 or something?
Yeah.
It's interesting because it coincides every now and then with people actually not feeling too good, right? Because the Earth vibration is increasing, so you get confronted with a lot of stuff, right? You have to confront a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's true. And
Um,
we have the fire horse where we have fire and it's brilliantly hot and engaging. And other times and days, it's just no fire at all, no heat, no nothing. So it's those up and downs. And yeah, you're right
yeah,
about
it's
the
very
spiking.
interesting. Yeah, today I wanted to talk a little bit about. I saw this amazing short from a woman on Instagram. Like her name is Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth April. Like she's like a remote viewer.
Hmm.
And it's kind of like I got these messages from multiple sources, right? So I had a fantastic month, right? And then a couple of days ago, you know about it because we talked about it privately. I talked to I'm at Network State here, right? I talked to the founder of Network State, got some feedback for what I'm building, and maybe if he has some time to talk about stuff. Um, and interestingly enough, he gave me neutral feedback. At the time, I interpreted it as a little bit negative, right? I was like, oh, like, where somebody says something and depending on how you interpret it, it's just a completely different meaning,
Yeah.
right? So at the time, I interpreted it a little bit as negative, but it turned out after talking to my girlfriend and like you and just thinking about it as well, like what he said was completely neutral, right? And he actually gave me a tip like how to advance. But I interpreted it as a little bit negative, and I was like, I felt a little bit disappointed, right? And there was this woman sitting there that I had a conversation with, and I had a conversation with her, and it was very, very interesting because she basically is what, and to say it in the best way possible, she
Said, see, I
tried.
told you.
Yes, what she said was, "See, I told you." Like, and I would consider that as dream stealing, or like in a sense where what well, he could have just said nothing, right?
Mhm.
Like saying nothing would have been better as than saying that. Like why do you even say stuff like that?
Yeah.
Right? It makes no sense to say it. There's no value added. There's just it's kind of like just destructive, and like kicking somebody who just got like let's say a negative event or like something happening to them in their life. It's like somebody tripped and fell down the stairs and you just walk up to him and just kick him, right? Just for no reason. It doesn't make sense, right? Why would you do it?
And to just throw in, you know what's interesting? How you felt it as something negative. As we now know, he
Yeah.
just said something neutral based on his own opinion. She also felt the negative because she jumped on the negative. See, I
Yes,
told
I
you. So,
attracted it. I was
yeah.
in a state where I was receptive to receive her negativity, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that I learned. And now, like the interesting thing is this, right? I was up the day before, and it's gonna get somewhere, right? The day before, I was up late because for what we're building for you guys out there, we're building frequency, right? And on a random YouTube video, I saw that somebody uploaded a frequency app, okay, on YouTube randomly. Like the YouTube algo just showed me, okay, here we upload frequency, like exactly same lettering, exactly same everything, right? And Well, the interesting thing is it triggered me, right? It triggered lack. It triggered fear, like the fear of loss, like fear of losing the name, fear of somebody else doing the same, like all these fears and triggers and whatever that are all just aligned with my ego. And what that did is it lowered my vibration, essentially, right? It got my vibration from, oh wow, I'm on this winning streak, into like doubt and fear and like
Yeah.
anxiety and like all this, like focus, my focus shifted somewhere completely different. And what that led to, interestingly enough, it led to me staying up until 3, 4 a.m. And on the next day, I had to get up at 7. So what it led to, and what I chose, was lack of sleep. Right? So you can see where this shift in focus kind of led to a chain of events, right?
Yes. That you
Okay,
attracted.
I see this thing, it triggers something in me, which is a blessing in the end. I wasn't aware enough at that point in time that it is a blessing.
Yeah.
I saw it as something negative, right? Or I interpreted it as something negative, to say it more precisely. And
Yeah.
then in the morning, I gave the tennis class, and I was like, okay, this day is going to be a little bit more challenging. I have less sleep, and I have to give myself the sleep. And then Balaji gave a talk, right? I talked to him afterwards, and then I was in a state of a little bit, a lot lower frequency and vibration, right? Because when you're exhausted or when you feel exhausted and tired, it's also important to say the words feel, right? It's not, you are never exhausted and tired, because if you understand what you are, you are not tired. You feel tired. Your body may feel tired. Your mind may feel tired, but you're like, what you are is never tired, right? It's just an experience. So I felt tired, and I interpreted it as negative. And then she came and gave me like another like kick in the stomach, right? Like, and I was just I what my initial reaction was anger. I felt extremely, like, first of all, I said, okay, you don't have to get it. Like what we're doing, you don't have to get it. It's okay. But I felt extremely angry, right? But also not like, anyways, long story short, what happened was this anger turned into basically a complete halt of working on my dreams, working on anything that is actually for the highest good of myself. Like if it's eating healthy, sleeping healthy, and like in a normal time, like talking to people, it kind of shifted my whole beingness, like as if I was a completely different person, right? Because I focused on all these things. And that from a really high energetic vibrational point, right? I was on a really good roll, like reading every day, right? Focusing on things that are
You
good.
fell down the stairs.
I fell down the stairs, 100%. And now to the important part that I recognized. It was really hard to get back to the good and focusing on the good. It was really, really, really easy to fall down the stairs, right? Really easy. You could just focus on the negative thing, bam, 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 bam. From one
Mm.
moment to another, you're in the rut.
Yeah.
It's over, and they got you. They got you. And who do I mean by they? They got you, right? What I noticed, and I've noticed this a couple of times, and that's where Elizabeth April also comes in. She said, there's a lot of light workers out there, right? And a lot of people that are doing good and are spiritually gifted to a degree that are getting psychically attacked, energetically attacked, right? And she literally says exactly what happened to me, that they will, like, these entities will work through other people, through situations, and they will try to get people that have high vibration into lower vibration, because when you're in high vibration, you repel these beings, you actually hurt them. Like your energy is so high that you hurt these beings, right? And they don't want to be close to you. So what they do is they will find people and situations to basically trap you, right? So, and the trap is, it's like, is this gonna trigger you? Is this gonna, oh, like, because they can read your field, right? They can see your field, they can see what's in there, right? So they can be like, okay, this guy feels triggered by his ego if his baby company, like somebody else does it,
Yeah.
right? That's gonna trigger his ego so hard that he's gonna get angry and he's gonna fall in this thing. And then he's gonna get triggered when somebody doubts him, right? And basically tells him your dream is shit and you're not gonna make it anyways.
Yeah.
So, and that's how they got me for a short period of time. So, and what happened then is, and this is very important, these beings, they feed off our negative energy. They feed off negative thoughts, negative emotions, and they kind of sustain themselves through us and through our negative emotions. Right? So they don't want us to go into high vibration because then they're starving. Right? They have to create that's, and this goes really, really deeply into wars on the planet. And who is actually creating these wars and fooling us as mankind, man that is kind, right? We are mankind, man is kind, into wars, into hating each other, 1v1, like v1, everybody against each other, two parties fighting each other, black, white, up, down, you know, all these things, all these polarities fighting each other. It's an illusion. It's an illusion created for us, for them, for these low vibrations to exist, because everything downwards from neutral emotions is stuff they can feed off, right? And the more negative, if you're depressed, angry, like in rage, and you don't use them as tools, right? Where you're like, okay, I feel angry, I feel I'm on the wrong track. Let's switch back and fast, right? They will use you as emotional food, right? Energetic,
Energetic vampires that, like you said, feed
vampires.
themselves off of the negativity. So they grow stronger by your negative energy. And the longer you stay negative, the longer they will be more powerful. So how can we
Exactly.
starve them to death? What did you do? Because now you're back on track.
And when I talk about this stuff, some of this is very, I would say, very esoterical, right? So it's you don't have to believe in anything, right? Like for those watching, like if you believe it or not, like I don't really care at all. Like I don't care, give a fuck, right? Like all I care about is that I feel good, right? Because I like feeling good.
Feel
Feeling good
good
is amazing.
now.
Feel good now, exactly. Feeling good is amazing because what feeling good does, it gives you more things that make you feel good, right?
Yes.
It's so simple and so genius. The most important thing you can do is feel good now, because if you feel good now, the universe, God, will give you more things in life that will make you feel good. Right?
Yeah,
It's so simple. It's so
I
beautiful.
agree. Would you say before you answered to my question that people that are depressed, they are in a deep rest, basically, and they also don't do what they love? Is this a
I
similar
like that.
thing? Like
Man,
the one way
depressed
is
are
other
in
people
deep
pull you down,
rest.
and the other version is I pull myself down by being
Yeah. Another
depressed.
thing, I love that you said it this way. Another thing that I heard, and I think Bashar said this. What is negative energy, right? Negative energy is nothing else but energy that is kind of blocked. It's very, it's compressed, right? And you need compressed energy and released energy. Like compressing energy and releasing energy is how you manifest fast, right? So if you depression, what he says is nothing but compression of energy, right? It's the thing is you can't stay in that state. Like you cannot allow yourself, like how do I say this? Like because it's tricky to say this, because when I say you should not, if possible, stay in the state for too long, right? But you cannot also cannot fight it, right? Because what you resist persists.
Yeah, when you fight it, you give more bad energy into it. I don't want to
Yes.
have that. I hate that.
Yeah, and
So
you're
it makes it
basically,
worse.
right, what you're doing energetically is you're basically like putting up your arms and you're pushing against it, but it's still there. Like you're still pushing against it and it's getting
Yeah,
heavier, right? And at some point this thing is gonna collapse, right? Or you it's kind of like you dig your own grave, right? It's gonna get
yeah.
more and more and heavier, and at some point the light is gone, right? And you're in like this complete place of darkness. So you have to allow it, and you have to welcome it. Well, the first step. Okay, let's go back to the first step. The first step is acknowledging that it's there, right? You
That's what
cannot
you did.
ignore it. Yes, exactly. You
You
have to acknowledge.
acknowledged it. You
I've
acknowledged your pain, or what did you acknowledge?
Well, you acknowledge how you feel, right? You acknowledge the pain, you acknowledge the situation, but you also don't interpret it as bad, right? You just
Mhm.
acknowledge the situation the way it
Very
is.
neutral. You just look at it and say, "Oh, this is how it is."
Yeah, because you are not the emotion, right? You are love and
Yes.
light. Like I'm not the emotion. You have to distance yourself from it. Like if you no, you don't distance yourself from, but it's I'm not a total expert in it, okay? Like there's other experts like Kevin Trudeau and like enlightened spiritual masters that do this to a completely different degree, right? We're all learning, like I'm at least learning, right? And I can give you the 100% solution. But the first thing is acknowledgement. You have to acknowledge how you feel. The second thing is you have to welcome it, right? You have to actually let it come flow into you and then allow it to transmute into what you are, into love and light. And
Mhm.
like what that does is it actually makes you bigger, right? It lets you expand and become more. So,
How does one do that? Transmute that. I mean, we can go
well, you
into
don't do it
Frozen
like
and
like I already told you.
Elsa things, let it go. But if you're furious, if you're frustrated, if you're pissed, how do you let it go? How do you transmute it into love and light?
Well, if you're like you literally do it the way I said it, right? It's actually you acknowledge it and you allow it. Like what I had a one-on-one with Kevin, right? And I said, "Oh, I have this anger in my field," and I transmuted it. If you formulate it this way, I transmuted it, you actively did something, right? But if you allow something to transmute, you don't do it, like you just allow it to transmute itself. Like the
Okay.
thing is with when you work with energy, you don't do anything really actively. It's all about allowing, right? Allowing it to transmute itself into a higher state. And now, so basically what you do is if you imagine you have a field, okay, you feel angry, allow the anger, like acknowledge the anger, welcome the anger, and then allow it to join you as love and light and
Mhm.
change its state of existence from this low vibration into a high vibration. It's kind of like water melting from ice into water, into liquid form, right? Where ice would be the low vibration anger or depression, right? And we are like light and love, which is actually light, right? And it transmuting it into steam, right? So going from this depressed state into love and light, but that's extreme. I would say, from my experience, this is extreme mastery,
Mhm.
right? So what you would usually do is you would climb the emotional ladder, right?
Yeah.
You would actually go from depression to maybe anger, from anger to like slight annoyance, from slight annoyance to neutrality, from neutrality to oh wow, I actually feel good, right?
I have the emotional guidance scale from
Yes,
Abraham Hicks
there
here.
you go,
It's
there you
it's
go.
so true. On number 22, it's fear, grief, depression. Number 1, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. 20, jealousness.
Mm.
19, hatred, rage. 18, revenge. 17, anger. 16, discouragement. 15, blame. 14, worry. 13, doubt. 12, disappointment. 11, overwhelmment. 10, frustration, irritation, impatience. 9, pessimism. 8, boredom. 7, contentment. 6, hopefulness. 5, optimism. 4, positive expectation, belief. 3, enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness. 2, passion. Number 1, joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. So we climb this ladder basically.
Yes. And the interesting thing is, amazing that you have that, by the way. Everybody could use that in their homes, right? To just remind ourselves, right? Um, that we don't have to feel bad, and we can, like, how we feel better is just climbing this ladder. Just climb it up a little bit and move towards the good feeling. And the interesting thing is, we can measure these vibrations, right? You can actually measure them nowadays. Like, it's in your field, it's everywhere, right? But I don't want to get into all this stuff, like how actually devices influence your energetic fields, right? Everything we have. That's why electromagnetic chaos eliminators are so important, right? Because if you look at this, man, I saw this thing about patents. There was a patent on how devices can influence your electromagnetic field through their electromagnetic vibration, right? So this laptop I'm working with, that has electromagnetic vibration. The interesting
Yeah.
thing is, why doesn't this electromagnetic laptop support my electromagnetic field? Why does it deplete it? Right? Who created this thing? You know what I mean? I It doesn't have to be this way. Like, why does this thing? And then it goes into black mirrors, right? Like, in how if you turn off your screen, the screen is black. And then you go into, like, black mirrors actually being used for spell casting, right? And casting spells. And, like, what are spells? Right? And what is all this stuff? Goes down a deep rabbit hole, but at the end of the day, going back to the original point,
You go up the
these
ladder step by step.
yeah, these entities want to keep you at the lower end of this ladder because they cannot climb the ladder, right? They can't climb all the way up. It's not possible they're too heavy, right? And it's just incompatible. So they will do everything they can to keep you in this low vibration, right? And they will possess people. They will put stuff in your food. They will poison you with chlorine. They will put, like they will use everything they can. Yeah, from, like, the vibration of my laptop to, like, Wi-Fi 5G to everything they can, like aluminum and, like, chemtrails and all that stuff, right? Working through people. But she also said it. They work through people, like people that have low vibrations, to keep us in this low vibration, right? So how can you like free yourself, right? One thing I did, and that's actually interesting, and I want to talk about it a little bit because this is experimental for me and it has worked wonders. What I created is I created a contract in my field. A contract in my field that states certain things that basically prevents me from getting attacked from these beings, and basically says, okay, if I get attacked, instead of them getting my energy and taking energy from me, they give me their energy, right?
But they only have
Um,
low energy, right?
yeah, but they give, like, energy itself is
Or does it
neutral.
transmute?
Yeah, it
Okay.
transmutes into high energy. So it basically, I take their energy in a good way, right? Into high energy, love, light, energy, right? Happiness,
Ah, you
joy,
do something
gratefulness.
that they cannot do because if they are stuck with their negative energy and they cannot raise the ladder, basically you're the transmitter. You
Yes,
can
it's
take the
kind of like
negative
it's like
and
like the
transform it.
contract. Yes, it's like a transformer. I agree.
Yeah.
It's like a transformer in the field. And if you get and understand, right, that what Jesus said, I am God. Like, basically, Jesus said, I am God, right? And what he's like, if you understand that, what he also said is that every one of us can be Jesus. Like, every one of us is God. And if you understand that God is everything that exists, right? And I am the creator, you are the creator, everybody watching is the creator, is a creator, right? then obviously I can create my own contracts and place them into the field. And because I create my own law in a sense, right? And like energetic, like vibration in the matrix or whatever you want to call it, right? And this contract exists. I know it exists. Like, and how do I know that it exists, right? Well, I feel amazing. Like, and I feel amazing. Like, how do I know it exists? I feel fantastic, right? That's how I know it exists, right? And not just like, oh wow, blah, 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 right? I feel amazing from like 5 minutes, like one instant to the next,
Yeah.
right?
And you write a contract just mentally, so nothing, you sit on your laptop,
I
you
actually
type
wrote it
something, you
down,
send it.
like, because yeah, it's interesting. Good question. Like, I actually wrote it down in my phone because I was so depleted. And I'm gonna write it on paper. The best thing you can do is write it on paper, obviously, right?
Mhm.
White paper and blue ink, right? There's physics behind it. And of course, you have to, like, there's definitely things to these contracts, right? Like, for example, I like have my contract working. Why does it even work? Like, because I decided to let it work for the highest good of all. Like, there's rules to this. Like, and if you saw people, like, there's some celebrities, for example, that said they wrote contracts with the devil, right? And they sold their soul for it. Okay, when you do that, like, you don't get it, right? Because you don't have to write contracts with the devil, right? Why would you have to write, like, we are God, like, we are everything that exists, like, and we are part of everything, and everything is us. Like, I don't have to go to a devil to write a contract. I can just write a contract, right? If I know who I am, right? So, yeah, that's something that I would encourage people, like, maybe to think about, and but do it in a way, write these contracts in a way that are for the greater good, like, for, like, aligned with your highest self, right? And you can practice, like, giving as well. Like, for example, what I wrote into my contract is like 10% of the energy that I get, I give to the I am, right? The I am consciousness, which is the consciousness of all enlightened beings. And basically, in Jesus, what Jesus says is, like, actual, that's God's name, right? If you read Dr. Wayne D.W. Dwyer's book, I am is the name of God. Um, so, and now we go into the next thing. If I am is the name of God, please don't say I am sorry or like I am tired. And like what I said before, I feel tired, but I am tired. Like, I might feel tired. Cancel the I am when followed by something that, first of all, you cannot ever be, because what you are, like, it's not possible. It's just logically not possible.
But the human form of yourself can be, of course, sick
Yes,
and
what
tired.
you
And
yes, so what you would normally say is I am a person. So I am, so the universal consciousness, a person has created kind of like a person that I am that feels or is tired, blah, 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 blah. But you also don't want to say that because then you create it, obviously. So you can feel tired, your body can feel tired, your mind can feel tired. Your body can feel heavy, your mind can feel heavy, but you're not heavy, right? I think you're love and light, unconditional love and light. You're an infinite, eternal being of love and light that will always exist, right?
Mhm.
So
You say, I'm fantastic, and it's getting better and
yes,
better
I
every
am
day.
fantastic, but also, like, if you think about it, fantastic doesn't really exist. So sometimes what you would really say is, I'm a person, yeah, that is fantastic,
Yeah.
right? So if you go into high levels, because the person is a, well, what I am is a slowed down version of myself,
Mhm.
right? So I am love and light. I'm at the purest and highest frequency. And so are all of you, like, and you, like, all of us listening and existing. The bodies that we use, or like that we are inhabited in, are just slowed down versions of ourselves, right? Energetically, right? Slowed
Yeah.
down, and to make it actually physical, right? So to feel stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was the thing. The other thing you can use is like like I used the contract this time. I used it a few times, but I also renounced it. Like, it's interesting how these work because they can go on for multiple generations. So you have to be, there's definitely nuances to the stuff. And I don't know all the nuances. Yeah, disclaimer, right? I don't know all the nuances. And I have to also be very careful on what I do, right?
Yeah. And I assume you
Um,
have to phrase it very positive. So you don't use,
oh,
I'm not
absolutely.
getting the energy from dark entities because the not is canceled anyway,
Oh my God.
because the focus only goes on the main word. So you say,
Wow.
I transmute the energy from
Man, this is
those.
so important. So good that you said it. Never use nots. Always use the positive, affirmative phrasing of things. And
Yeah.
also, what I would not use is words that have, let's say, a negative word in them. Like, for example, debt free, because you focus on the debt. Like, you will focus on the debt, right? Just use financially free or whatever you want to use, right? In
Yeah.
your
And now one
affirmation.
might say, but you know, debt is written in a different way, like financial debt than being debt. But for our mind, it
It
sounds
doesn't
similar,
really,
right?
it is
That's the
irrelevant.
key. Yeah.
Irrelevant, right? For example, also, like, I'm not a fan of using limitless because the limit is in there, and
Yeah.
less actually, right? Less, you're less,
Limit
and limit and
less.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it like, and this leads to the next topic, right? Spelling, spelling. People talk about in English, they talk about spelling. What is in the word spelling? Spell, a spell.
Spell.
Yeah, is in the word spelling. Yeah,
You put a spell on
breakfast.
someone.
What? Yes, yeah, you put a spell on it. Like, you actually cast spells. What are we doing when we talk? We create vibration. It's not like just what you hear, there's more vibration to it, right? Spelling.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Break fast. Weekend. Weekend. Weekday. Weekday.
Hmm.
Morning. Good morning. Morning. And morning and morning. You're mourning
Yeah,
something.
you mourn someone's death or something. Yeah.
Yes. It's That's why they say English is the tongue of the devil, because it always has double meanings. That's why people love German language, because German words usually have a singleness of purpose, right?
Dann sollten wir Deutsch sprechen. No, was
Yeah,
die
wir sollten
Gelegenheit.
sprechen wir einfach auf Deutsch. Yeah, at some point, maybe we switch all languages through AI and translate them into German.
Ja, ja.
Um, It's also funny, like German LLMs, large language models, because actually large language models would learn better in German because there's less. It's so precise. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but we also have words like Leidenschaft. We use it positive, like what's your passion? But if you take Leiden, which is suffering,
Yes,
Leidenschaft, it becomes suffering. So we have similar
there
words.
are certain words in German. I agree. Like, I had this other word. Which one was it? But then again, like, did you say that or somebody else said it? There's certain words, like, for example, infinite. We talked about this, right? Where it's like, how can the only way to put certain words into for minds to be able to comprehend them is to put the opposite, to create the opposite of it. Like, how is the mind supposed to understand
Hmm.
infinite, right? Like, infinite, infinite. It's like, how it can't comprehend it. So what you
Yeah,
do is you say, you put the in, which is a not, in front of like a
yeah,
negation, in front of finite, because finite we get things are finite. Infinite, like, is the opposite of finite. So you have unlimited, but also like unlimited. Like, these, you have these words where it's like, okay, how do you use them? So
yeah.
yeah, at
Language
some
is
point,
interesting, and
language is
sometimes there
fast.
is nothing opponent and nothing positive. Like when we're on board of the cruise ships, don't throw anything overboard. How do you phrase that in a positive way? Or no smoking. If you write just fresh air, nobody knows what to do.
Like,
So
let's
there's a limit somewhere.
well, keep all trash on board. That you can do. For
Yeah,
no
but then the
smoking.
focus is also on trash.
Yes, true, true,
So
true,
if you
true.
want to stay positive, keep everything on this side. But people say, what do you mean? So sometimes it's challenging to find something positive because
I would
in
say,
the common language, there is nothing to really put down in a pinpoint way what you exactly want.
I agree. But what I would say is these things can be done,
Of course.
right? It's just a little bit harder. Some things are really, really tricky, and I don't know, like, I don't want to say it's impossible because everything is possible. And maybe higher dimensions beings, like, I think we could invent a language where we have words for these things, right? But to your point on spelling, or like to the point on spelling, why do people always like, and this is something how people get, I don't want to say this word, but people get screwed over again. Media always talks about, like, they always talk about what they're against or fighting against, but never
Yeah.
what they're fighting for.
Or that they
Right?
should not fight at all and just take a
Or
position
like
of
peace, like we
peace.
are for
Yeah.
peace, we are pro peace,
Yeah.
right?
But we are
And what they
fighting a
say
war
is we are
against terror.
against, yes,
Yeah.
we're against war, we are against war, or we are demonstrating against war. Yeah, are you guys, I like, you know, like, I don't want to say the word, but are you like mentally limited or something? You know what I mean? Like, don't you
Yeah, you keep it
get what?
alive. Would
Yeah,
you
and
say this
people,
feeds those negative entities as well?
yeah,
If we
obviously it feeds
formulate so
them.
many not things all the time? Because we
Obviously it
stay in the
feeds them.
vibration of war, in the vibration of I don't want to get fat. You stay in the vibration of being fat. So you
Of
stay in the negative.
course. Of course it feeds them, right? Of course it feeds them, and it creates more of what you don't want because you focus on what you don't want. And like, who engineered this? Think about it. Who talks this way? All right, just think about it. I'm not going to say anything. Like, who talks this way? Right? Maybe some institutions, and maybe some governments, right? Yeah, maybe actually people who have influence over people through social media, right? And like, I would just encourage people, don't fall for it. You know, use your brain, use your mind, and use discernment, and use your brain to think about, okay, if they say war against terror, so you focus on war and terror,
The two
right? Even
things you
if you're
want to
like the
stop.
best, even if you're the best person in the world and you have only have good intentions, right? You have, but it's also this saying in German, like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. You know what I mean? But that's also a saying. I cancel that saying, right? You can have the best intentions of the world if you say, I'm fighting against terror, right? Like, what are you doing? You're fighting. What's the energy behind that? How does it feel? Like, if I say this, my chest is like cramping up, right?
Yeah.
You feel it when you say it. It feels really bad, right? So if you fight, sometimes fighting is good, right? But if you fight for something, right? Fight for peace, fight for light, fight for freedom, right?
Or
Fight
even better,
for stuff.
be for
Or
something
the
rather than fight.
best thing, the best thing is what Norman said. Be peace. Yeah.
Yes.
Be
Because I
free.
am is be.
Yes,
A being. Yeah, be it.
exactly.
Do it.
Be
Be
do
very
it.
conscious about it. What you say, what other people say, and don't fall into this unconscious trap to just reply like you always did, like we all got trained. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got trained to do this, right? We got trained to raise our hands and ask questions, like raise an authority, right? We have to start thinking ourselves again. Right? And we are. Like, there's people are starting to wake up all over the world.
Yeah.
And
And look at
and
school. The teacher wrote in red what is wrong, but not mentioned how many words are right in the test. So we're all
exactly.
programmed in focusing on the bad and what's wrong.
Yes, yes. And that's why oh man, that's why it's so tricky for people that are really really schooled. And there's a difference between being schooled and being educated. Yeah? Education has nothing to do with schooling. Schooling is okay, you just download all the stuff without discernment into your brain and you're basically becoming like a drone or something, a clone. Education is you actually do things yourself, experience things, and learn from what you've experienced, right? And make your own decisions, make your own conclusions, right? And you learn from people that have what you want and have been where you are, right? It's like the one of the basic fundamentals. Who do you listen to?
Yeah.
Yeah. And please don't, like, for all people out there, don't confuse schooling with education. Yeah. It's something
Yeah.
completely different. You can be extremely schooled and have no education at all, right? Or very
Yeah.
little. And you can be completely unschooled and have high education,
That's
right?
true. And it's
Uh,
funny, it closes the loop to who do you listen to if you listen to the lady you talk to that kind of
yeah.
frustrated your, not yourself, but the ego in you. So is there anything else we can do? Like I become aware that there's an issue in me that somebody pushed a button, then you transmute it, you just let it go. And is there another point I can do to get more on a positive track?
Well, there's certain techniques you can do. One of the techniques you can do is the Callahan technique. Obviously, tapping always helps. What tapping does is basically it uses the acupuncture meridian points, and you just tap on certain points of your body to release the negative energy that is stuck in your body. Another thing you can do is when you hear these voices or thoughts or feelings, you can use what people would say canceling. So you can cancel certain thoughts or energies, right?
You
You
did
can
that
listen to
earlier.
them.
You said
Yeah.
something and you said, oh, cancel, cancel.
Cancel, right? Because you
Yeah.
link into a certain thought or energy, and then you cancel it and replace it with something good,
Yeah.
right?
You just do that in your mind, or should you do that out loud?
Uh, you say it out loud best if you do it. You can say it in your mind because you can speak in your mind,
Mhm.
but you can do it in your mind. But of course, it's more powerful if you speak it out loud, right? You
And if
listen.
somebody
What you
else
do is
speaks something over you and says, you will never ever be able to do that. You confront them and say, thanks for your opinion, cancel, cancel. And they will look at you and say, are you totally crazy? I think then you do it in your mind, right?
that is funny. That is funny. Yeah. I, usually you wouldn't do it like right in front of them and all that stuff. Just you don't
So
have
do it in
to.
your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, do it
Just
in your
cancel,
mind.
cancel
Cancel,
everything
cancel.
that you say, not my piece of cake.
Yeah, and very important, if you can, still send the person love, unconditional love, right?
After hitting them
Because
on the nose or afterwards?
oh,
Right away.
well,
No
yeah,
hitting.
just give them
Just
the
loving.
knockout and then send them love. Oh, that is funny, right? No,
Yeah.
just accept it because you can thank them. It's what you said. You said that to me, Norman. You said they just showed you that there's some trigger and they unraveled some trigger within us, and we can thank them. Thank you so much
Yeah.
that you showed me that I still have this trigger and that I can just now release this trigger, right? And the next time I face it, I'm unfazed, right? I'm
Yes.
completely
And they
relaxed.
don't come anymore because as long as you have a trigger, they show up. Because, like you said earlier, also the positive things work through other people and circumstances. And at this moment when you let go of your trigger, nobody needs to trigger you anymore because you then went to the next level to work on the next trigger.
Yes, and
That's
and you
interesting.
like if you manage to get to the point where you see these people as gifts, right?
Yeah.
Um, and be like, thank you, universe, for showing me through this person that I still have like a certain triggers to release or energies to release that are stuck in my field, right?
Yeah.
Thank them. And if you can't do that, feel compassion. In Germany, say Mitgefühl, right? Just feel some
Yeah.
compassion for them and be like, okay, that person must feel really bad to say stuff like this or
Yeah.
like whatever, right? Because you only hurt somebody if you hurt yourself, right? You only hate some people if you hate yourself. Like in all these things, like we humans are by nature good beings. Like we are good, yeah. And only if we get confused sometimes and off track is when we start hurting each other. So yeah, send the people love. and light as good as possible.
Absolutely. What an amazing final word. Send others love and light, and also yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely. Your body, your mind, your soul, send everything, like all parts of you. And like God, thank God, like all the time. You should send God love and be thankful for God that God exists. And
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I love that. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for enlightening me today and so many others.
Thank you
And
for,
then we see what comes up next week.
yeah,
All
I'll
righty.
see you. I love you,
See
my
you
friend.
soon.
Norman is the
Love.
best. I love Norman.